Welcome to the C# Programmer Zambia. In this video, I'm going to be answering a C++ test question. So before we go ahead, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and hit the bell icon to get instant notifications on my uploads. So without further ado, let's dive right into it.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Right, so let's take a look at our question. All right, so it's pretty easy, and it goes as follows. A third-year student wants a function that will print the following output. So I guess you can see this pattern that we have here. All right, so n is the limit. So it says where n is a positive number, for example, the following quotes the desired function, number print 7. So here I think we're just being told to say number print is the name of, we should name our function number print. All right, and if 7 is passed as an argument, then such a pattern should be outputted to the screen. All right, so this is pretty easy. We're simply just going to use our knowledge on functions and for loops. All right, just that. Now let's go into coding just now. All right, let's just have our main function. Okay, so there it goes. And yeah, first things first, we're going to have a user-defined function for our pattern. All right, and then we're going to call that user-defined function in our main function. All right, so that it can perform its task. Okay, that's the whole aim of us using functions. So the question clearly says you need to prepare a function. All right, right here. So if we look at it, our function is not retaining any value. All right, so we're simply going to say void. Okay, and after saying void, we're going to say number print, because that's what we are naming our function. All right, number print, and then we are going to pass a parameter. Okay, so we're going to declare a parameter, all right, inside our parameter list, and it's just going to be 1, because the only parameter that we need is the one that's going to allow us to, it's the one that's going to be acting as the limit. All right, so it's going to be sensible for us to name the parameter as obviously data type integer, and we should name it limit. All right, so it's good to name your variables. So a parameter is simply a variable, all right, declared when defining the function, like we've done right now. Okay, so thereafter we're going to have our nested for loops. All right, so these nested for loops are going to be used to create that pattern. All right, and trust me, it's very, very easy. So we have our first for loop. So we simply say for int I equals 0. You can use any later, as I will say. Int I is equal to 0, and we can simply say I should be less than or equal to limit. Okay, so we don't want our I to surpass our limit, meaning that we don't want our for loop to run more or more than our limit that we're going to be inputting. All right, so thereafter we can simply say I want it to be increasing by 1, obviously, and thereafter don't forget to add your curly brackets. So curly brackets are very important because sometimes you might arrange, you might write a certain code in a certain way, and then it's going to act in a certain way because you haven't included your braces. All right, so maybe I'm going to give an example. I'm going to give you an example just in this video. All right, so the braces are very important. Thereafter we're going to have our inside for loop. Okay, so our nested for loop, and this time it's going to use an integer j, okay, which is going to be equal to 1. So we're saying it's equal to 1 because j is the value that we're going to be printing out. All right, this one is simply going to be used to change the line. Okay, so the main for loop is the one that is being used to change from line 1 to line 2 to line 3 to line 4. Okay, and then the value of j is simply now the numbers themselves that we're having. So here j is 1, j is now 1, then here it's 2, then here it's 1, here it's 2, is then it's 3 there. Okay, so I guess you can see, and you're going to see that as we just complete this. So we simply say int j is equal to 1. Okay, so we're starting from 1 because we don't want to start from 0, just as our equation is saying. All right, so I guess you can see there's no 0 here, but there's a 1, meaning that our j should start counting from 1. All right, so we simply say in j is equal to 1, and j should be less than I. Okay, actually you can say less than or equal to I. All right, why? Because our j is 1 and we want it to print up to the limit itself. All right, so we simply say I, and then thereafter we can simply say j plus plus. All right, so we also have our braces. So I guess you can see at least the braces are able to show us to say this is the beginning of this for loop and the end, and then this one is the beginning of this one and the end there. All right, so that when time comes where we have to write something like we want to be changing the line. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's first go ahead. Here we're simply going to say cout the value of j. Okay, now if we output the value of j and then we simply put our end line statement here or even just there, you're going to find that your program will not run as you want it to. Okay, so you should try that in your own program. All right, so our end line is going to be here. Why? Because this is the inside of this other for loop and not this one. I guess you can see that. So we're going to put our end line statement there so that this for loop is just going to be able to be changing our line. So we simply say end line like that there. Okay, and then this other brace is actually just ending the block of our user defined function. All right, now after that we can simply just get rid of this part. Okay, so this time we want let's say we call our function, let's say number print. Okay, and then we have saving, just like our equation suggested. Okay, so we are passing saving as the argument for now. All right, and I guess you can see that right now our user will not be able to enter the value of the limit, but firstly I just want to show you an example. So we simply say F9 and our code should run. All right, so there we have it. We've got 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. So I guess you can see the kind of pattern that we're having. So in order for us to make our program look like it looked in the output look like it looked in the equation, we can simply include some spaces after j. Okay, or even just one space. All right, so we can simply say something like that. Okay, or something like that. Yes. And then thereafter we can now declare another variable that is going to be used to be passed into the number print function, so that the user themselves are able to enter any value. All right, so we simply say int, for example, in p. Okay, then we simply say cin p. All right, and then we pass p into number print. All right, so that when the program runs now, we know to say we need to enter the limit. Okay, so we can simply just enter to say okay 10, for example. All right, and we press enter, and I guess you can see we've created something just like the question is asking us to. So this wasn't a very complicated, it wasn't even complicated, as long as you understand for loops and how to use functions. All right, so if you have any questions, you can simply drop them in the comment section below. All right, and I'll be ready to answer them. All right, so if you like this video, I'd like you to hit the bell, hit the like button and hit the bell icon to get instant notifications. All right, so thanks for watching this video and see you in the next one.